What's up guys, it's been a while since I've done a giveaway, so let's go ahead and do one. How would you guys like to win a community racing snail? If you'd like to participate in this giveaway, all you have to do is leave your character name and server in the comment section below this video, hit that like button, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I'll announce the winner this weekend. Good luck everybody. What's up guys, Grim here. Today we're going to go over a Warlord Warrior PvP build, and this is something I kind of built on the fly during the recent live stream that I did, and you guys that were in the live stream got to contribute towards me building this and try to offer your suggestions and stuff like that. I don't know if it's the perfect build or the perfect macros or anything like that, but it's very similar to what I ran in Storm Legion, and I was able to pretty much decimate everybody at that time. And yeah, I was able to do it again once Warlord got buffed up, and I went ahead and ran it like I used to, and man, people just got annihilated, to say the least, during the live stream. So to start off with, I have to give a huge shout out to Nepitz Naslo for donating $20 and Glamrack for donating $5 during the live stream and being very supportive. I really appreciate it, guys. Anytime you guys show love towards me, I really appreciate it. So let's go ahead and go right into this build here. And if you'd like to see this soul build on a web page, so you don't actually have to pause the video or squint at your screen or anything like that, just look in the description below this video and I'll have a link down there so that you guys can check it out on a web page. Alright, so to start off with, this is a 61 Warlord build. This is mainly a DPS build in PvP. So you go 61 points into Warlord and then 13 points into Paragon, which the 13 points is 5 into Teaching of the Five Rings, 4 points into Weapon Familiarity, and 1 point into Rift Strike, and then we have 3 points into Grace of the Five Rings. And then in Tempest, we have 2 points into Amped. Now, if you do not have the Premium Souls and you do not have Tempest, you can go ahead and go with Champion on this, but really you're going to be missing out, and the range builder and finisher and stuff is very important to a build like this, because if you actually cannot hit somebody at range, it's going to make your life very hard being a melee player. One thing that is real beneficial is if you see players that are jumping around and stuff. In Rift they have it to where if somebody jumps around in front of you, it actually increases your range to hit them by like 3 meters or something like that. So go after the people that are jumping around. They're very easy to hit and kill. The people that are running away from you on ground and bobbing and weaving side to side and stuff, you're kind of going to need ranged attacks, and this actually provides a ranged finisher as well. So yeah, go with Champion if you have to, but it's highly recommended that you go with Tempest. Alright, so the masteries that we went with is level 61, Resonating Strikes, level 62, Soul Regeneration, level 63, Energy Reserves. Now, the reason why I went with Energy Reserves is that in the past, Warlord has always been like an energy-starved type of soul. It was really easy to run out of energy, so we used to go through different ways of trying to recoup our energy by going into Riftblade and stuff like that in order to get the abilities to refresh our energy. But with Energy Reserves, we actually have something in the masteries and can go with the full build of Paragon and Tempest. Now, if you notice that you're not getting energy starved early, you can of course switch over to Runner's Training, so you get the pretty much permanent 10% movement speed increase, and then you can go from there. But if you're running out of energy, make sure to switch back to Energy Reserves. Alright, so the level 64 mastery is Deliberate Strikes. And level 65, it's pretty much recommended that you go with Power Manipulation here. And if you do that, you can actually stick it in your builder. Just make sure that you have your macro, say, cast at self. But if you're actually somebody like me, everybody targets Grim, everybody tries to kill me, so I have to go with a heal of some sort. Power Variation is what I go with, but you can go with whichever you like. Whatever your playstyle is, it benefits you the most. The buffs that we're going to be using is Enhanced Conductivity, Focus of Body, Way of the River, Deadly Posture, and ready posture. And if you notice that you're taking a lot of damage and you're not really getting the heals that you would like to, you can go ahead and swap in defensive posture for deadly posture. The reason why we take out deadly posture is because in Warlord, the crit hit and crit power is not as important. It's really beneficial to go with attack power because you get like a crazy like 78% bonus to attack power. Your critical hit chance is not like on par with a Paragon or something like that. So naturally you're going to want to go with attack power, and deadly posture is not that important for a Warlord build. Alright, let's go into the macros here. Now these macros are constructed in a certain way to be very beginner friendly for somebody that's wanting to pick up this build and be able to run it efficiently in PvP. So otherwise, like the 99% of Rift players that, you know, aren't the elitist 1%. If you're one of the elitist 1% and you just are going to criticize everything that I do and say that macros like this and stuff make people lazy, don't bother watching my videos. They're not geared towards you guys. I'm actually wanting to satisfy the masses that are wanting to have fun with it and not treat it like a job. Alright, so let's go into the builder macro here. Now this is made in a certain way to capitalize on King of the Hill being at the top of the macro, because once you use your big burst ability, which is going to be battlefield experience, this is going to fire off King of the Hill over and over again and really do massive damage. And the reason why we chose King of the Hill over like a decisive strike is because King of the Hill actually buffs up your piercing thrust, so that's going to be part of our big rotation. So that's why it's constructed this way. Now there are a couple things in this that you can take out and micromanage if you like, such as Battlefield Medic. Now this is one of the things that I normally always separated whenever I played a build like this in Storm Legion, but whenever I was playing it during the live stream, people were like, just throw it in there. It isn't going to hurt you, and it didn't seem to hurt me at all. It didn't seem to cause me any problems at all. But take it out if you want to. Also, Eye of the Storm, there's almost no reason to take this out of a builder macro because it has a 10-second duration. It is on a 10-second cooldown, so it's not really something that you need to micromanage. Anytime that you swap to a target, it's probably going to be up and go ahead and snare your target and you'll be able to take them down. Alright, so there's other things in this macro that may not be something that you need, such as the consumables down here, also their planar abilities. If you actually do not have these abilities or consumables, you can take these out of the macro. Anything after Shock Pulse, it's up to you. I put them in my macro just so that they're always fired off and giving me the buffs. Alright, so let's go into the finisher macro here. Now this is also geared towards battlefield experience really popping off and taking Killing Field off of the global cooldown, well, off a cooldown, so that you'll be able to spam it once you're going into your burst phase. Now this also has piercing thrust at the end. So basically you have your big cooldown, then you have breaking blow, which is going to be available all the time, but it's melee range, and then you have your range finisher. If they get out of range, then it'll cast Skyfall for your finisher. And then we have piercing thrust at the end. So how this works is you're going to hit your builder and then you'll hit your finisher, but after you hit your finisher, you'll hit it one more time in order to get one combo point, and that will actually fire off your piercing thrust and give you the big bonus from it. So we'll go over that more whenever I go into the gameplay though. Alright, so this is the charge macro here. You got really nice charges here. Actually, I need to add one at the end here. There we go. Alright, so that is saved there. Now, this is actually a couple of planar abilities in here. We got Thunderous Leap. If you do not have that, take it out of the macro. It is one of the planar abilities, and also Vapor Rush. That's one of the really far down planar abilities. So it's highly likely you might not have Vapor Rush, but if you do, have it in your macro. Alright, then we have our pull macro here, which is Sergeant's Order and General's Order. And then we have the heal here. Now this is specifically towards those of you that feel like you need a heal. I know I need a heal. I get targeted like crazy, and if I don't get the heals from healers, I got to be able to provide it to myself because I'll die if I don't. The buttons on my action bars is we have the builder macro here, then we have the finisher macro, We have Battlefield Experience, which is our big burst ability. We have No Permission to Die. We have the heal macro, the charge macro, the pull macro, Forced March, which is going to increase our movement speed by 50% for 15 seconds. Then we have Defensive Maneuver, which is our leap back. We have Break Free on a separate button. If you have the planar ability to have the second Break Free, make sure that that's on your bars. I think I actually have it. I've just been too lazy to put it on there. I need to get it up there so I can get to using it. Alright, so then we have our Interrupt, which is Neck Punch, and it has a 20-meter range, which is really nice. And then we have our Debilitate for 5 seconds here, Wrist Strike. Now, the bad thing about this is it is melee range only. So, with all the souls in the game having all their CCs being at ranged attacks, yeah, we got a melee range one. It's very few souls that seem to have melee range CCs anymore, and we're the ones stuck with it. So that sucks. So the soul build and all the macros and everything are going to be in the description below this video, so make sure to refer down there if you want to see updated macros and all that. I may have a description on a better way to play things, who knows. Everything is a work in progress, so if you want to see everything updated, be sure to check down there. So let's go into how to play this build here. It's not really anything that's going to be advanced button mashing, but it will be a lot more advanced whenever it comes to movement and stuff. I'll try to go over a little bit of the PvP tips so that you guys can play melee right, but there's only so much that I can do in an actual video like this where I'm standing here not really fighting somebody. So let's go ahead and go into the basic rotations of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to first charge into our enemy or pull them if you actually are in the middle of your allies and it looks like it's not a good idea to go right in the middle of all these guys or something that's all back here that's going to tab target you. Be sure to pull them back into your team. That will pretty much guarantee a kill on them. So if they're not surrounded by tons of people, you can go ahead and charge in, start using your builder, and then hit your finisher. But hit your finisher one extra time to fire off your piercing thrust. And then you go back into your builder. Finisher one more time to fire off your piercing thrust. And then it's just that rotation back and forth. So builder, builder, builder until you have all of your combo points. Hit your finisher and then hit your finisher one more time to get one combo point. Because that's going to be your piercing thrust and it's going to be really buffed up as well, so hit really, really hard. Alright, so now we get into the fun part. Say we're sitting here doing our normal rotation on somebody and we decide to go into a burst phase. Now, in order to do that, you need to use your Battlefield Experience button. So, once we get full combo points, that's usually recommended. Go ahead and hit your Battlefield Experience. Now go ahead and finisher, and then finisher one more time, and do your normal rotation after that. And that's going to basically take your King of the Hill and your killing field off of cooldown, so it'll basically be things that's going to be spammed. But you do want to go ahead and hit your finisher one extra time to fire off your piercing thrust, because you using King of the Hill is actually going to buff up your piercing thrust so that it'll be even more efficient. So that's your basic rotation along with your burst ability there. So what else are we going to be using in order to be very efficient at this build? We're going to use this ability here called No Permission to Die. And this is basically something that you can pop off once every minute, and it'll allow it to where if you're actually in melee range of a bunch of people and you start getting tab targeted and blown up, you can use this ability if you don't think that you're going to be able to get out before dying. And if somebody lands a killing blow on you, instead of killing you, it's going to restore you to 50% of your health. So very, very important ability to use. And then, of course, if you start getting into a lot of trouble, you can go ahead and hit your heal button here. And it's usable while you're moving, so make sure that you're moving while you use it. Alright, then we have our charges here, we have our pulls. Make sure you're using these pulls. They are so powerful in PvP. If you pull somebody into your team, it's almost always a guaranteed kill unless they're like a tank or they just got amazing heals. But really, pulls are going to kill tons and tons of people. Alright, so then we have our Forced March here. I recommend using that as a getaway. Don't really use Forced March in order to get at your enemies too much, because you've got pulls, you've got charges, you've got plenty of things to get at your enemies. don't use your forced march in order to get at them, because you're going to need it to get away. Say I'm in the mix fighting all these people, I might use my leap back here to leap back, and then I'll turn around and use my forced march in order to run away even faster. Now the big thing is, you got all these ranged people. If you only move back a little bit, they'll most likely be able to target you just by moving up a little bit, or else they were pretty far up anyway and they're going to still reach you. So you need to get away whenever it's time to get away. Let's see, what else do we have? Of course, our break free, and if you have the planar ability to have the second break free, make sure that you're using it. Don't put your break frees in your macros, guys. I see so many people doing that, and that's a really bad habit to have, because if you use your break freeze in your macros, it may use it whenever you get snared or something. Just things that aren't important, all of a sudden you're going to put your break free on a cooldown, and that's going to put you in a bad place whenever somebody comes up and actually stuns you and tries to blow you up like a shaman or something. So that would be a very bad deal. Alright, then we have our interrupt here, which has a 20-meter range. That's very, very good. Make sure you're putting these interrupts to good use. They are very, very important in order to stop healers, and also anybody that's going into a channeled ability, say a primalist is going to blow you up or something like that, go ahead and use that ability. If you see a reaver using a viral stream on you or something, make sure to interrupt it. Do away with that crap. Don't get hit by it. Alright, so then we have our debilitate here, which is a 5-second debilitate, but it has to be used in melee range, which really, really sucks, but that's just what we're stuck with right now. Be sure to use it though. Don't forget to use it whenever you're in those close fights. The main way to play this build efficiently is something that I see people fail at all the time. For some reason, everybody seems to think that it's about this like long rotation of abilities or something. No, PvP and melee specifically is very, very important on the movement side of things. If you're not actually doing your movement and stuff like that, then you're really going to get blown up and die. Take for instance, if you see the enemy team is over there, you don't go charging in right into the middle of them. If you see all of them over there, move behind your team and go over to the side and pick a target at the side. That makes it to where everybody on that opposite end over there are not going to be targeting you. Most of the people in the middle aren't going to be targeting you. It's only the people on the side that you have to worry about. And if you're fighting somebody, you want to make sure that you're behind something or be able to move around something if you start getting bursted on by range classes especially. So if you see that you're fighting in a situation that you can get close to something to line of sight, make sure that you work your way over to it and get behind it if you need to. If I see that I'm fighting somebody melee range right here, and I see like this guy runs up here and he's going into like an Inquisitor burst rotation or something, you better believe I'm going to hit my forced march and run behind the statue here. And then if he continues charge, I'll go ahead and use my leap back, get behind my team, and he'll have to go through all of my allies in order to try to kill me. So being able to really pick your targets and get out of harm's way is so important in melee. And I can't tell you how many people, how many videos, how many actual war fronts I see and all that, that people just charge right in the middle and just pray that the healers can keep them up. That's fine if you're running a little bit of a tanky build, or if you're a pure tank, or you know, something like that, but really you should be playing smarter than that. If you're not a tank, you need to be going off to the side and actually picking your targets wisely. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to smash that like button. Thank you to Nepit's Now Slow for the $20 donation, and to Glamrock for the $5 donation. You guys rock. I really appreciate the support. If anybody else is interested in supporting the channel, we have ways of doing it in the description below. As usual, guys, my name is Grim, and I'll see you next time.